Hello, I'm Zett, and today I present you a video about the new PlayStation Vita custom firmware HENkaku Ensō. Before we start, it's important to note that your PlayStation Vita has to run a specific firmware for this to work. It's important that your PlayStation Vita is running version 3.60. It has to be exactly version 3.60. If the version is higher, like 3.65 or 3.61 or something else, then you will not be able to replicate this. There is currently no way to downgrade a PlayStation Vita firmware, so this is basically the end for you. If your version is lower than 3.60, then I have good news. There are ways to manually upgrade your PlayStation Vita from a lower version up to version 3.60. And how to do this, I'm going to show you in another video, which will be uploaded today as well, so don't worry. So as you can see, this PlayStation Vita is running version 3.60, so everything's fine and we can use this. Then I'm going to start the web browser, and we have to go to the following website. Well, HENkaku.xyz. As you can see, the website is HENkaku.xyz. Then I click on install, and it's redirecting me to the /go website. Sometimes you get an error message in your web browser. This might take a few tries until this finally works. It's also recommended that if you get the error 3 times in a row, you close your web browser and you reopen it. And if everything is working fine, it's gonna look like this. And as you can see, a few things happen on my screen and it looks like nothing happened. But on your device you will notice a new bubble which is called molecular shell. Like this. And you will be able to open this new bubble on your PlayStation Vita device. And the next thing we have to do is we have to use our computer because we have to install a file. But before we can install a file, we have to transfer this file onto our PlayStation Vita. And what we're going to do is our PlayStation Vita has to have a working Wi-Fi connection, so Wi-Fi has to be enabled. Then we go into the molecular shell application, press start, then press select, and as you can see it says FTP server is now running at a specific address. And on our computer we have to use an FTP client to connect to our PlayStation Vita with the following address, and then we have to move and copy a file. After we have done this, we can continue on our PlayStation Vita to install the permanent custom firmware. Okay, next on our computer we have to go to the HENkaku website. So we go to ensō.henkaku.xyz, and then we will have the following website. It's recommended to read all this text. It looks like a lot, but it's not that much. And after you've read this text, you click on this button so you can download the Ensō VPK file. This should be a fast download because the file is pretty small. Also, if you don't already have it, it's recommended to install FileZilla on your computer because we need a working FTP client. If you want to know a bit more about HENkaku Ensō, you can check this Wololo article about HENkaku Ensō and so on. We will most likely release yet another article about HENkaku Ensō soon, because this article was written before the custom firmware was actually released. Okay, I'm going to move this into my PlayStation folder, and there we go. We have this ensō.vpk file, and we have our FileZilla application. If you don't already have it on your computer, just install it. And then after you've installed FileZilla, you click on the very top left. Should be File, Server Management, New Server, and after you click the new server, like this, you just enter the IP address that's currently displayed on your PlayStation Vita. I already did this, so I can click just... Okay. Okay, do I have to delete this again? Yeah, okay. I already did this on my PC, so as you can see, server address, port, etc. So I can click connect, and it should connect to my PlayStation Vita. Then we follow the instructions that are on the Ensō website, and the website says we have to move our VPK file into the ux0/data directory. So we're going to do this. we go to UX0, then we have a lot of folders in here, we have a few files, and as you can see I already copied my Ensō file. But what we are going to do is we go to our Explorer on our computer, click on the Ensō file, and drag and drop it over here. This is currently asking me to overwrite the file, that's okay. And that's basically it. We transferred the file onto our PlayStation Vita, and now it should appear on the PlayStation Vita. So the next thing we have to do is on the PlayStation Vita to finally install the permanent custom firmware for the PlayStation Vita. Okay, next on our PlayStation Vita we can now press cancel to terminate the FTP session, and then we scroll in our directory. If you're not already in the UX0 directory, you can just go to UX0, press X, and you should be in the directory. You should notice a new file in there. It's called ensō.vpk, and we're going to install it. So you press X onto it, and then it says install package. You say yes, and it's going to install it. It says this package requests extended permissions, blah 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 blah. So this is a security feature to prevent malicious files to be installed, but this is a trusted file, so we can simply install it. If your PS Vita refuses to install this file because it's like saying not enough permissions or something, instead of molecular shell you should be able to press start, and here it says configure HENkaku in settings application. If you press X, it's going to open a settings panel, and inside of the settings panel you can enable the unsafe homebrew feature. So you can install these unsafe homebrews. Then this should be better. So after we're done installing the file, we should have a new bubble. This bubble is called Ensō, and it should look like this. So we press start and open it. Then we have this tiny text there. Going to zoom in. Can I get it sharp? Yes. So it says this software will make permanent changes, etc. Well, like you can see it on your own device. And it says if anything happens, it's your own fault because you want to try this. But it should perfectly work fine on your device, like it shouldn't break or anything. This was tested on over 100 devices, so it should be fine. So you press circle to just continue. Then it says press X to install, well, cross to install or reinstall the hack. So we're going to do this. But first I'm going to put the camera back. I wish this text would be a bit bigger, because it's kind of annoying trying to read this from afar. Or whatever. Okay, I'm going to press X to install the hack. Checking files, installing. As far as I can see, everything's set okay. So we're going to press any key to reboot. The PlayStation Vita doesn't have an any key, so I'm just going to press X. And as you can see, the device is rebooting, and it has a new icon on the boot, the Team Molecule icon. Warning, etc. And so on. So as you see, the device just rebooted, and let's see if I can fix this camera stuff. There we go. And if I go to settings, you will notice something, that it has these HENkaku settings, and the device just rebooted. It fully rebooted, and it still has some modified system files loaded. So this is a permanent custom firmware. You can enable PSN spoofing. Sometimes the PSN spoofing feature is not working. It's when Sony releases a new version and this has to be updated, but that's not a problem. Also, you can enable version spoofing. So currently I spoofed my version to 3.65. As far as I know, it's the most recent version. And if Sony releases a new update for the PlayStation Vita, you can just go to spoofed version and change it to whatever, 3.67 or whatever the new version is going to be called. Then you have a few other options in here. You can change how the circle button behaves. On Asian console, if you press circle, it's going to confirm things. On Western consoles, if you press circle, it's going to cancel things, so you can change its behavior if you want to. Then you have a few debug features like the content downloader that you could find in the dev settings, like I have a video about it from the Gamescom. Then you can unlink the memory card. What this does is it's deleting a file on the memory card which locks this memory card to one specific PS Vita. So if you do this and then put your memory card into a different PS Vita, you can still use it on the new Vita and you're not forced to format it. Then if you ever have problems, you can reload the HENkaku file, and the last thing is simply just rebooting the device. So that's pretty much it. That's everything you have to know if you want to install a permanent custom firmware on PlayStation Vita. Once again, this only works on the version 3.60. If your device is running a lower version, like, I don't know, 3.18 or whatever, you can manually upgrade to version 3.60. How to do this, I'm going to show in my next video, and I'm going to upload it today, just like I'm going to upload this video today. And if you want to see a few cool things, for example, if you have this custom firmware on PlayStation Vita, you can install something that's called Adrenaline Easy Installer, which was made, well, the Easy Installer was made by my friend Freakler, and Adrenaline itself was made by Total Noob, a great coder from the PSP scene. And I'm just going to start it. And what this does is pretty much you get the PlayStation Portable operating system inside of your PlayStation Vita. So you have the XMB of the PSP on your PlayStation Vita. So you have this old user interface that you used to have on the PlayStation Portable as well. And you can use this to play PlayStation 1 games, you can use this to play PlayStation Portable games, like this Japanese K-On! Game, or GTA, or Tekken, or whatever. So this is pretty nice. What you can also do is you can install homebrews, like emulators, or PlayStation Vita games. For example, this Adventure Time game, this was never released. I think this is a dev or a beta version, but since this was never released and you cannot buy it, it's fine if you just like install it on your Vita. As you can see, this game is running perfectly fine. This does not work on a regular Vita, like you need to install a custom firmware first. So yeah. And so on. So basically what you can do is you can spoof your version to a higher version, you can install homebrews, you can install all the stuff you could do on the PSP, so you can play PSP games, you can play any PS1 game, you can play emulators, for example for Pokemon or Zelda or whatever. So that's basically it. And I think that's it. I'm the Zett, and see you soon.